Okay, we are doing both of these together, A, to save you time, and B, because this goes together with the previous mini lecture with political party organization, because we talked about during that their role as an organization is to nominate and get political leaders elected. So that's what we're going over here. And really here we just want to make sure the two bottom ones, key terms, are not necessarily the most important, but they're not the ones that you've heard a lot. But just real quickly to clarify, so three of the ones that we've not really talked about are, well, actually we'll do four. So popular vote, that is the entire vote of citizens in a country. So we count the popular vote for the president when they are elected, although it really doesn't have much bearing on which president gets elected, because we've had presidents lose the popular vote but still be elected president. An elector is someone who is chosen from a state, and these are appointed individuals. They are not, some states elect their electors, so the people actually say who they want to be sent to represent them to the Electoral College. Other states have them appointed by their state legislature, and these are the individuals that actually vote for the president and vice president in the Electoral College. And then a platform is really, it's like, what does a political party stand for? What are the issues that they are supporting? What are the issues they are not supporting? Are they conservative? Are they liberal? Or are they something else? And then that platform is broken down into planks. So the basic idea here is that a platform in this case is the metaphor is that it's a stage. It's a stage for the political party. And that stage is made up of individual issues, individual ideas that are the planks or the pieces of wood that would make up that stage. All right, 2 minutes. Get this down. Don't pause the video. Get as much down in 2 minutes. And then continue as soon as I start speaking. All right, so the most important role that a political party has in the general American election process is presidential elections. So every 4 years, the political parties get together in some sort of chosen city and they hold a big convention, a big gathering of everyone who is affiliated with that political party. And so this would be candidates who are running for office. This would be also the delegates that are chosen by the political parties to go and vote on particular items. So what is sort of lost in that is that in every 4 years at those conventions, that's where a political party will decide what their platform is. And they will decide on every individual plank of that platform. And that happens every 4 years. So every 4 years, a political party can start shifting in any particular direction. So case in point would be back in, sorry, I have to do math off the top of my head. Back in 2016, the Democratic Party had multiple candidates. One, which was Senator Bernie Sanders, who was known as a progressive, who was trying to push the Democratic Party further left in the political spectrum, did not get the nomination. Senator and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton got the nomination. But Bernie Sanders was able to get the Democrat Party to vote on a new platform that moved it a little bit further left. So even though he didn't win the nomination, he was able to have a victory in changing the party into a more left-leaning party. And then in that same year, the then candidate Donald Trump was able to get the Republican Party to move their platform more to the right, more conservative than where it initially had been. So also at those conventions, that's where, even though it's a part of a formality at this point, and again, we're going to get to how we get there, their party delegates cast their votes for who their candidates for president and vice president are going to be. So we have up here a picture from 2000, that would have been in 2012, but every 4 years, the first one in 2008, then 2012, the Democrats at their convention nominated Barack Obama to be president and Joe Biden to be vice president. And they had to go through that every 4 years, even though by 2012 they are already the president and the vice president. So that's the two important things that happen in presidential election years are that political parties do is nominate their candidates, and they decide on what their party platform is going to be, what issues they're fighting for, what side of the political spectrum they're going to be on. And then once we go through a presidential election, it then gets kicked over to the Electoral College. Now, there's a lot of side stuff here that's going to be important in understanding how the Electoral College works. But the basic structure is this. As we talked about in the vocabulary, electors are selected by state legislatures. So sometimes they are voted on, sometimes they're just picked. But they are selected to represent an individual state. And typically you will have two electors depending on how many electoral votes a state gets, which is the combination of how many senators they have, which is every state has two, and how many House representatives they have, which is different for almost every state. So some states have 3 electoral votes, others have 30 or higher. So those electors show up to cast ballots for their prospective states. And then, sorry, I have a typo on here, but that threw me off. So when they cast their ballots in the old days, meaning at the beginning of our country, those electors could vote for who they wanted to. If they were picked to, and they were, say, a Democrat, they would vote for the Democrat representative. If in the early days of the Republican Party, if they were a Republican and they were sent as an elector to go and vote for the president, they would vote for the Republican candidate. But now most states, this is what that small bullet point should be, most states their electors are directed to vote for how the whole state population voted. So if an entire state votes for the Republican candidate, all of their electors will cast their votes for that Republican candidate when they show up, when they cast their ballots for the Electoral College. That's the way that it works now. So the electors really, it's more of a ceremonial position. It's not something to where they actually have that power. And almost every single state has this in their state constitutions. So it is part of law that electors follow that. Not every state does, but most states have that written into their constitution. So, and that's how our president and vice president are elected, is that it's done through the Electoral College. It's not done by the popular vote of the entire country. It is done by a popular vote of each individual state. And there are various different reasons for this, which we will and get to at a later point. And that's all we have for electing leaders.